Good morning. We are on the road already. We already made our first delivery this morning and we got one left here in Quebec. That's right, you heard that right. We are in the French province of Quebec. We got one delivery to make into Montreal, and then I go up to Louisville and pick up a load there that's taking me back down to Illinois. So hopefully we can get everything done in the day. Hopefully there's enough time in the day. There usually never is, but we're going to try to make time today. We're going to stretch time out if we have to. I just entered the province of Quebec from Ontario on here on the 417. I was trying to think of what road I'm on here. I came from Ottawa, so on our way to Montreal. Left our nation's capital. Did not see the Prime Minister. I don't know what I would have done if I would have seen him. It's probably a good thing I didn't see him. Give him a good, nice Western welcome. Haven't been able to give him a good welcome to office yet, but that's probably why they have the office out here. He wouldn't like it. Well, we gotta get something to eat, and truck stops in Canada aren't much different than truck stops in the States for what they offer for food, unfortunately, but usually they are a little better in Canada. Here at this one here, there's a Shell, they have a McDonald's. You can see across the street over there is a Petro-Canada stop. They have a Subway, a Burger King, and a Pizza Hut. And there's an Esso right over there that has a Tim Hortons and a Harvey's, it looks like. I don't know, why aren't we at Tim Hortons, right? They actually don't have enough truck parking over there, so I'm just gonna get a coffee from McDonald's. But don't tell Timmy. Don't tell him. Watch, if I find out that somebody won the car from the roll up the rim from that Tim Hortons and the coffee was bought today, I'm gonna be kicking myself the rest of my life because that could have been me. Diesel, it's gonna be your fault then, okay? I'm already blaming you in the future, so prepare yourself, okay? That's the way I roll. We're crossing over the bridge to Ile de Montreal, the island of Montreal. Because Montreal City is actually an island. Did you know this? I did. 21 kilometers, or approximately 15 miles or so, I'm guessing. I've got to make a right turn and turn off the road. How un-NASCAR of me, making a right turn. Well, I'm all dressed up. You know what that means? We're at our customer. Final one. And this is one of the ones that is very sticky with their appointments. I'm 20 minutes early. They don't want to talk to me yet. Makes sense. I mean, they weren't actually doing anything, so no, it doesn't really make sense. They're just sitting there visiting. Hey, I'm a little early for my appointment, like 20 minutes early. They're like, okay, well, come back in 20 minutes. Okay. All right, I'll go sit in my truck for 20 minutes. But you know, it's funny because, like I was telling you yesterday, this kind of freight that I'm hauling right now, right, it comes in little pieces. I gotta hand bomb it. And some of them take, you know, like 500 pieces. Some of them take 5 pieces. 5 boxes. And what's funny, what I find funny anyways, just to myself, in my head, is when you get to a place and you only got 5 pieces for them, like 5 little boxes. I can almost carry them in one shot. And then they get up all in your face. Do you have an appointment? Yeah, I have an appointment, of course. Like, I always make appointments before I go places, right? It's smart to do that, even for the small ones. But sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, it's 5 pieces. Like, I'll put it in the corner over there for you. But they get really, and they won't receive it. I've been here before, and if you do not have an appointment, even if it's for like 5 pieces, they will not unload you. I've never had that like actually happen to me, but they've told me, yeah, if you don't have an appointment, I don't care how small your order is, we're not going to unload you. So, moral of the story is, no matter how crazy it sounds, you need an appointment for your freight. They need to know that you're coming. Because even if those 5 boxes seem like a little thing to you, it may be a big thing for them in their paperwork and everything. Maybe something doesn't work for them in their paperwork. I don't know. I don't understand it, so I make a joke about it and say it sounds kind of ridiculous, like it's 5 pieces, like come on. But for them, I don't know how their paperwork works. I don't know how their business works. It's obviously a bigger deal to them, so hey, just gotta be respectful and say, yeah, okay, no problem. So So far that hasn't happened because I always make appointments before I go anywhere. Doesn't matter where I go. Sometimes I don't have to make the appointments. Sometimes the office makes the appointments for me, and then I just confirm it through them. Then I don't have to call. I actually like that way better. I like that way a lot better. I don't like calling the customers. To tell you the truth, I don't like it. I'll do it, but it's not my favorite part of the job, calling them, because then what if I tell them the wrong time, right? And then I got to deal with them if I'm late. And that whole responsibility thing. Come on. Just, it doesn't matter either way, but it does make it easier if the office does it for me. But that makes extra work for the office. I'm rambling on about everything. Point is, part of the job, call the customer, make an appointment, unless if someone makes the appointment for you, but usually it's you doing it. Because you know when you're going to be there, right? The office doesn't know when you're going to be there. They don't know what the weather's like. They don't know when you need to fuel. They don't know anything, really, unless if your trucks are very, 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 very fancy and like completely like cameratized. Got cameras everywhere. Did you know this? One second. Did you know that some companies in the United States are putting cameras on the interiors of their trucks to watch their drivers? Isn't that a little creepy? Isn't it? I think that's an invasion of privacy, honestly, in my own opinion. What if it's a female driver and it's a guy who's keeping tabs on the security cameras, right? What if that girl driver forgets that there's a camera recording and decides to, you know, go out of sight in the bunk there, but the camera can still see her, and start changing? What about that? I think of those things. Because not that I would watch the girl changing, but I'm just thinking, wouldn't that make her uncomfortable? What about me when I change in there? Like, I'm proud of my body, but I mean, I don't want to show it off to everybody, right? It's supposed to, you know, you're supposed to keep your clothes on. But what happens? Yeah, I don't agree with that whole camera. I'm making a joke out of it right now, but honestly, in all honesty, I don't agree with companies putting cameras in their trucks. I think it's definitely an invasion of privacy. I think you should be able to trust your employees, and if you can't trust your employees, fire them and hire employees you can trust. It just shows a lack of faith in your employees. If I would have a camera put in my truck, I would feel like they don't trust me to do my job. And it's sad that there are people out there that they can't trust. There are reasons why they would want to put cameras in their trucks, right? Because they want to make sure their drivers aren't messing around while they're driving, and it's for safety and insurance reasons in case of an accident. Because if the driver's, you know, distracted, they have proof. But you can only take safety so far. All right, there's a point to where it's actually infringing on a person's rights. Like, you don't need to be all big government about it, right? You got to trust your employees. Trust them. And if you can't bring yourself to trust anybody in business, if you can't trust one employee ever, no matter how many employees you hire, you just can't trust any of them, then honestly, the cold, hard, brutal truth is maybe you shouldn't be running a business. Because you have to trust people. Because if I'm not trusted, I'm not a happy employee. I'm a happy employee where I am. I love where I am because they trust me. They don't even really keep tabs. I call them to let them know where I am. I mean, I have a satellite on my truck. They know exactly where I am all the time, but they don't harass me about it. I love working where I work because they treat me with respect. They treat me like an adult. They trust me. Those are the three biggest things that any employee wants. You want a happy employee, you got to make them feel valuable. You know, they get me home when I want to be home. I have a friendship with them. It's sort of like a family atmosphere. That's what makes a happy employee. And if you're one of those people that just can't find a job because you keep getting fired because people can't trust you because you keep screwing up or you keep stealing or you keep being dishonest, no sympathy. Sorry, buddy. Start being an honest employee so that your employer can trust you. And if the pool of workers is just not competent enough to do their jobs where you're at, maybe you want to move your business to somewhere where you can trust the employees. I mean, that's a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of effort. No one wants to do that either. So you're left with a dilemma. I mean, but really, if you can't trust any of your employees, maybe you should have no employees and you should do the job yourself. I'm being a little bit blunt, but that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a blunt guy. You guys know this already. I'm I'm in your face blunt. I just say things the way they are. I am very politically incorrect. So if you do talk to me, don't expect me to be politically correct about anything, because I'll say it just like it is. Meh, don't care. And I don't say it to offend people, but if the truth offends you, or if my words do, hey, well, feel free to offend me back in return. You should see my comment section. You should see my email inbox. There's nothing you can say to me that hasn't been said already. I get offended every day. So when people say, like, oh, I didn't like that comment you made, or oh, this offends me, I'm like, that's nothing, really. You just see what I gotta deal with every day. Like, suck it up. This world is a brutal place. It's not a fairy tale land. There is no unicorns. I have looked. This is the real world. Okay, so we're empty now, and we're headed to Louisville. It's about just over an hour, no, just under an hour and a half away. And looks like I'm gonna get there, as long as we don't have any problems on the way, get there on time and get loaded. That load is taking us to Illinois. I may have to reset my log hours before I get into the States though. I haven't looked at it yet, but I looked at it last night and it looks, I don't know if I'll make it quite to Illinois before I have to reset. I'm gonna try. Obviously, if I can, I'll do it, but we'll see what happens. We're still in Montreal here. It's such a different kind of city. Like, it's cool in a way. Everything is just a little different here. And big part to do is it's French, but Montreal is very bilingual still. If you speak English, you'll get by fine in Montreal. It's the further into Quebec that you go that the more French it gets. Quebec City is a lot more French. Alright, taxi drivers, you're not exempt from using your signals. You still have to use your signals. I guess not. Okay. I tried. About that whole time thing, Montreal traffic is nuts. We just got past a big accident where someone had cut off a semi and suffered the consequences. No one was injured though, don't worry. However, their car was in need of a tow, we'll say that. Yeah, this traffic is kind of nuts going through here. The freeway systems need expanding almost everywhere you go. It's interesting how nowhere has big enough freeways. But what can you do? What can you do? Make do with what we got, right? Would you just look at that sunset? Look at it. We're on our way to Illinois. Looks like I should be able to make it there on my hours left on my week. So remember, in Canada I can only drive 70 hours in 7 days. In the United States it's a little bit more strict and tight. 70 hours in 8 days. So I can make it there on both and not go over my hours. So we'll reset down in the States somewhere. But I'm loaded up now and I'm headed right back down to Arthur, Illinois with this load and switching trailers there. Something rattling on my dash there. Anyways, I'm feeling good about this day. Got a lot done, got everything done we were supposed to get done, and we got it done just in the nick of time, really. We just barely got there in time. So otherwise I'd have to sit here all weekend, right? And instead I can spend my weekend working, making money. And then I can sit down in the States where it's warmer. Well, we got to Lancaster Flying J, just into Ontario, and I'm gonna stop here and have a shower because I haven't showered in a little bit longer than I'd like to admit. So we're gonna call it an early night tonight. I'm gonna go take care of myself inside there, get myself all nice and squeaky clean, enjoy a good evening here, and then we'll take off from here in the morning. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the finest of them all? You are. That's nice, isn't it? Trucks everywhere. Trucks, trucks, trucks. I love trucks. And guys, what this guy's doing right here, don't do this. You're not allowed to park here. We're at Lancaster, like I told you, but I know sometimes I'm lazy and I like to park close to the door, but this is excessively lazy. This guy just parked right here, right? I just came out of the shower, this is why I know this. And he made it very difficult for the fuel guy, who's right over there, to get in here. You're not allowed to park here. So I'm walking into town, the town of Lancaster from Flying J. I've done this, I do this almost every time I'm able to when I'm here, when I have the time, right? And I like going to their restaurant in town here. And plus it gives me an excuse to walk, because it's about a 10-15 minute walk. I'm just realizing right now, I wore my nice sweater. I probably should have worn my nice jacket. It's a little bit chilly. Walking to town. Walking into town. So Lancaster is very close to the border of Quebec on Highway 401. It is on the Ontario side though, but it still has a lot of French influence here, obviously. So I get asked all the time in my comments and whatnot, do I like my job? It's a love-hate relationship, but the love outweighs the hate, usually. I like it. I do. I absolutely love it. Honestly, bottom of my heart, I love what I do. I love traveling. That's why I love it so much. But being away from home for 3 weeks at a time, and then home for a couple days at a time for 5 years, it's not quite that bad. I'm exaggerating a bit, but you know, sometimes it takes its toll and you sort of get worn out and you need to change things up a little bit. And that's the way I was sort of feeling when I was, you know, driving my own truck still. I had paid it off. And that's one of the reasons I parked it. I needed a change. That wasn't the main reason I parked it. It turned out that that was one of the things that really made it awesome. Like, I parked it because it wasn't worth it to me financially. Sure, I had bragging rights that had my own truck and, you know, paid off and could make a lot more money with it now, but I need to get a new transmission in there soon. $10,000. I need to buy all new drives for it by the end of this year. $4,000. I need to, what else is going on with it? The engine is good though, the engine's solid. That'll go for a long time yet, but I'd worked out all of the expenses for this upcoming year, and it was well over $30,000. And in comparison to this last year and the year before, I spent about $25,000 into the truck. Both years. So $50,000 altogether. And you know what? I just wanted to jump into a company truck for the winter and think things out a little bit. And you know what? I'm really glad I did. I am really glad I did, for me personally, because I realized that's exactly what I needed. I noticed that my spirits have been lifted. Not many people know that in the mornings I would struggle with depression sometimes. That's a fact of a lot of people's lives. And that's, a lot of that has been gone as well. It's been a weight that's been lifted off of me. So, jumping into a company truck and driving the truck that I am now did a lot more for me than I was expecting it to. And I'm a lot happier. And that's all that matters in the end, right? All that matters is that you're happy. And there it is. I forget what it's called, but that's the building right over there. Look both ways. Alright. I'm gonna go on in here and enjoy me some good grubs. I wonder how late they're open today. Yeah, it's called the South Glengarry. Had a delicious pizza there, and I couldn't finish it, so I brought the rest home with me to my truck. My truck is back here, if you're wondering. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. There it is. I'm the one nosed in. Can you see me? It's actually not too full here. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's not actually too full here.